I wasn't going to bring it up, but since you did, I'm going to ask you, what do you think about Paulie? And what do you think about Paulie in your own life and your relationship with him, but also in how he was represented on the show?
I think Paulie was represented pretty good on the show. All right. Okay.
Paulie, pretty good, meaning how he really is, or they gave him a boost and made him likable?
Yeah, honestly, pretty much like he is.
Okay.
Myself and Paulie, we had an issue at the beginning when he first came on because of the relationship Delores and I had. It's not your orthodox relationship. It's, we're truly are best friends.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with Delores, the fact that she kept our family together, which I'm so thankful for. Her and my fiance are close. Right? Delores has helped planning items for the wedding.
Oh, I love that.
So when Paulie came around, Paulie was not used to this and had an issue with it. And Rachel, I just wanted him to be in the presence of myself and Delores, and you'll see that there's nothing to worry about. All right. Except the fact that we are mother and father of the same kids. We're great friends, but he wouldn't do that. And it was different. So, but as time went on, it changed. And this past Easter, Brittany and I went by Delores' for Easter. All right. Which we always do. And my kids are there. Paulie's there. Paulie's kids are there. All right. And Paulie's wife was there as well. Yes, exactly. Right. So, I enjoyed that because he saw what it's like to keep friends between a ex-husband, ex-wife, to keep your family together. It's all about your family. So the fact that Paulie came full circle and, basically flipped 180 degrees at that point, I felt a little vindication on that is what I felt.
Right. I'm curious what your thoughts are, because it was, Delores was questioned a couple times on her thoughts about marrying him. Do you hope that they get married? Do you think they will? What do you think the holdup is with him getting a divorce? Is it more simple than people are making it?
Yeah, listen, Delores is a big girl. Delores is a tough girl. Delores is a street girl. Delores knows what she's doing. All right. And, when Delores is stupid, she's stupid like a fox. Okay. And I got to admit, Delores takes care of herself. I don't know. I thought they would have been engaged before Brittany and I, quite honestly, but they're not. And she seems happy with it. She's okay with it. So if that's the case, honestly, I support her. Delores knows I support her blindly, no matter what. Right. She's the mother of my children, and I'll always be there for her, right, wrong, different, you name it. So,
but you're not feeling upset with her like some of her friends are like, "What's the holdup? Why isn't he getting a divorce? This guy is just stringing her along." You don't feel that way.
No, I don't feel that way. He's definitely not stringing her along. Okay, definitely not stringing her along. But at the same time, Delores' friends are saying that because with Delores' ex-boyfriend, she wanted to be engaged.
Yeah.
It was so important to be engaged. She would not move in with David unless she was engaged.
Right.
And now with Paulie, being engaged is not so much of an issue. So
right. I do think that people forget that it's not all like how we thought it should be 50 years ago, where you meet someone, you get engaged, you get married. If you're not older, you have kids, you know what I mean? People do relationships differently and they work differently for other people. I think it does seem like they are happy. And I think that it gets triggering when people ask, because that's their timeline, not Delores and Paulie's timeline. So
she does, Rich. She becomes very defensive. Defensive.
I get it. And I can see why. It's interesting. I think he's kind of grown on me a little bit over the show. At first I was like, what is this guy? I don't get him. But I mean, he seems nice enough. I like his accent,
That's it. That's a good way to put it, because he grew on me as well. I thought the same. It's the same thing when he came around. He's great. He's great to my children. If you're great to my children, you know the deal.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So what do you see? There's been all these rumors about what is going to happen with this reboot. Some people have said it's just a few cast members. Some people said everybody's been wiped out. What kind of inside scoop can you give me about anything that's really happening? Does anyone know what's happening on the cast yet?
Bravo has been so tight-lipped. All we know is we heard that something, or if anything happens, is not going to happen until next year, 2020. Right. We have no idea whether it's going to be a total recast, whether the show is being canceled. I'm not sure what's happening. Nobody has the inside track because there is no inside track right now.
Right.
I think Dolores is in a good position, and obviously she's my biggest concern. I think she's in a great position because Dolores not maneuver is a bad word because she doesn't try to maneuver, but Dolores is like you said, Switzerland. So
Right.
it was, no matter if this side stays, Dolores can be part of that. If this side stays, Dolores can be part of that. So, but otherwise, listen, I have my own thoughts.
Okay, well, what are your thoughts? Like, what do you see as being the solution for this next season?
It has to be. I do not believe that one side or the other has to go, because it was like filming two separate shows.
Mm-hmm.
And as difficult as that is for the network, I don't think the fans like that. And as much as fans like controversy and fans like, fighting and everything else, I think it's gone beyond that. We're the point where, whatever's happened this season, I don't think the fans like.
I mean, I definitely agree with that. I think it's gotten a little dark. I think that it was very obvious that, one room seemed more humble and normal. I mean, that's a terrible word to use for lack of a better word, but it seemed like they got the joke. They were like, oh my God, this is so ridiculous. And then the other room was so full of anger and spite and nasty words. So it just, I mean, in my opinion, and who am I just, it seemed like the lighter room, meaning Margaret's room or, Melissa's room, seemed to be the room that like got the joke and were good and healthy and light. And the other room was very dark, but maybe that's its own show. I don't really know, but it gives like agita feeling a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like anxiety provoking.
That's a good way to put it.
Right.
For sure.
Okay. So I'm curious about you and like what you're hoping for your life. Like, you guys aren't filming your wedding or anything, are you?
No, there's been no inkling with respect to filming our wedding, which is nice. They wanted to film my engagement last year, and I thought that was something that should have been a little bit of private, so we didn't. To me, and whether the show's here, gone, indifferent, it doesn't change my life whatsoever. It doesn't change my life whatsoever. I'd be lying if I said I didn't love it. I love going out in public, no matter where we go. All right, your people coming up to you, people smiling. Overall, I consider myself to be more liked than disliked. All right. And I've always tried to keep the peace. And what you see on the show is exactly what you see me in real life. I appreciate life. I truly do appreciate life. I'm blessed. And every day is a gift. And so if the show goes one way or the other, it really doesn't affect me much. I love. It would have been a great ride, but I continue to like to take the ride. Absolutely. All right.
Right. So I actually want to go back to Louie for 1 second because I forgot about something. So on my show last year, I mean, not so long ago, but I had Vanessa on, his ex, to talk about, she's a narcissistic, abuse, domestic violence person or something. Right. So we really talked about that. And I also had Bo Dietl on my show. And, both of them played dumb and both of them, kind of, did their own thing. And Bo especially, of course, played dumb. But I want to go back to that for 1 second because I really don't get it. What is the problem? And maybe I'm very ignorant about this, but really, what is the problem with Louie and his exes? I don't know why people are obsessed with him. I don't find him something to be obsessed about. I think that a lot of it is made up because I cannot believe that someone would be so obsessed with him. But also Vanessa strikes me as, well, I'm not going to say what Vanessa strikes me as, but like, it seems so odd to me that this is a storyline that's gone into court and made him, what he says is like people have had to, he had to quit a job or he got let go from a job because of his bad press, because of his exes. I mean, what is that really?
So listen, you won't say what you truly feel about Vanessa, but you want me to open up though.
Well, I'll say it too. I mean, I just thought it was crazy to me that she's built a career out of, narcissistic abuse. And like, if that was the case, she would not want herself in the public eye. If she's that abused by someone, she would stay low key and she would treat patients that don't want to be in the public eye about stuff like that because it would have affected her in such a way. I mean, listen, if I were her and my fiance left me for a huge name on Bravo, when you're on Bravo, you're like as big of a celebrity as like an A-list star sometimes. So that would kill me that I'm like getting ready for my wedding and my fiance left me. Yeah, that would make me probably insane. So I get that made her insane, but I don't know that she's like this amazing doctor if she was, she wouldn't be in court at all. Like, but maybe he's stalking her. I really don't get it. That's why I'm asking you, because I just think the whole thing is retarded.
I don't have personal knowledge of anything exactly, but what I can say is this. I've been around Louie, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And where there's so much coming out and so many coming from different places, all right? I am a true believer. If there's enough smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, of course.
All right. And that is truly what I do believe. All right. That's for Bolito. That's a whole nother story. You know, Bo and I have many mutual friends. All right. And myself and Bolito had an issue, and it had to deal with Louie. Right? And Bo indicates that, that didn't happen. So, listen, I gotta be honest, to me, I let it die, because whether it is true or not true, it doesn't change my life. It doesn't change my life. And I'd rather the simple things, let the simple things go. Vanessa can't let it go. All right. But at the same time, there's something true somewhere. And that's
I think you're right. I think you're right.